right. And we're golden. It's you.
We both did that.
It's my baby face, Nick Zyla.
There we go.
Oh, it's so good to see you, brother.
You too, buddy.
Yeah.
Not just passing you in a car in Hamilton.
No lie, I thought you were my cousin.
Right.
Wearing those sunglasses and just you have the exact same face and everything. And I was like, why is my cousin in Hamilton? Which, like, why were you in Hamilton at that time? It was just such a weird happenstance to like walk by you.
Yeah, I was recording Only Human, that band that played it a few times, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm back recording them next Thursday too. So they've done like, I think like 7 albums now with me. So they're flying.
Yeah, 7. Well, how many are you up to? Creeping up to like 200 now?
The first 30 don't count. It's just a drunken, garbly group.
Hey, the first 30, that's when you really cut your teeth.
Right. Yeah. No, it was on one of those little palm top recording little studios you can put on your belt. So I was using like drum tracks off of that and just extremely drunk on Black Label beer. So the first 30 don't count.
Hey,
but no, I'm up
a staple right there. That's the
well, back then Black Label was like $4.50 for a 6-pack. Yeah, bottom of the barrel, and no tax in Alberta, right? Like 5%, so it's good stuff. But no, I'm at 193 now.
193.
Yeah.
It still blows my mind, even though that I know it's true. But it is one. It's one of those things that it was like. Just rolling out the door.
That's my rider. I'm done.
That's it. No green M&Ms.
I didn't get any moist hot towelettes.
So I'm out of here.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No. Jordan, when you first asked him to play on some of your stuff that you were doing,
he asked me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Either way.
I wanted him to, but I was too cool. So he knew that he needed to ask me.
He's always forward like that. So he has.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to jam, and then it was more or less like, let's do some stuff. I'm like, absolutely. So.
Well, it was such a nice, refreshing thing to see, like, somebody really taking so much roots 90s and doing it, like, faithfully and not, like, a hack kind of recreation kind of way. Like, we're both very 90s babies. We were in the thick of it in the grunge era and the alternative radio revolution and stuff. Like that was our time, So when I started hearing some of your tracks, I fell in love with your music because it was hear that.
Really speaks to our genre. That's funny. I think it's just that I've never grown out of it. Never expanded. And then when I hear the jazz quartet and all you guys, that really opened my mind a little bit more. But I still listen, to Beck and the old, like I still where I'm at in my mind. I haven't evolved out of it too much, but it's just my comfort zone. So I forget
you
that
do
it's
do
90s.
a lot with it. You take a lot of that kind of the pop framework,
right?
And you do take it for a walk. I mean, there's all kinds of great, like the Papaya song. I love that one. And Booty Booty is so catchy and so simple, but it's just like, I don't know. It's not aiming to be a comedy band quite like Flight of the Conchords, but it's like music. If it's funny, it's funny. If it's not, it's not. It just kind of, you go with whatever. There's a very honest pouring out right into the composition that you seem to do that really inspires me, you know, like.
Right. Yeah, I hear you, man. I think the funny thing about the funnier songs is that they seem to click and resonate better. And I don't know if maybe I'm just more of a comedic writer than, because, you know, the other songs that people seem to pick up on are the ones that I actually put some time into the lyrics, and they seem to resonate more on that. This other garbly gloop I'm singing, you know, but when it comes to the comedy type songs, people are laughing and they just seem to pick up on it more. So that's why there's always a few chucklers in every album. There's a funny one in there just to kind of lighten up the mood, like Papaya. It's, you know, I saw our friend Steph just carrying around these papayas, and I'm like, okay, there's a song, you know. And then when you put the bowl whip crack in there, then that's it. I think I had Jeff Ball come in and do the friggin' cello on that song. So
yeah.
It got serious, man. I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, what goes on in a process like that? Like, you're almost.
Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. Sorry.
What? It's
Sorry,
like
what was it?
you have a factory. You have a factory mass production mentality when it comes to your music. You're always moving on and making the next thing and going. And what's impressive is that the quality never suffers. Like, I'm always like, okay, I gotta work this and I gotta be a perfectionist and everything. And it's not that your songs aren't perfect. Like, they're so good, and they're catchy, and, you know, everybody's humming them, and they like have their favorites and everything. And there's always new music coming out. Like, how is it that you find this time? Is there something that you'll like pick up on and it's inspired, or is it literally you just always have a time set aside to be like, it's work time and I'm going and I gotta be musical, and you do it? Like, how
Okay.
do you do that?
I don't know where I begin, and thanks for taking the reins here. First of all, I'm a big fan of you and your knowledge, and I've seen you play, and there's just chords that I didn't even know existed. There's so much to learn from you. One of your recent songs, man, it's just, that's taking time on something. Like that song, I'm sorry I don't have the name of it right now on me right now.
But one,
man, it's just like epic. And that's, when you talk about taking time, you can really see it in a song like that, where I'm farting these songs out 5 a night, 6 a night. And then I kind of dig through the pile and you pick out the good ones, right? So yeah, like you said, it's like a mass-produced like system. But first of all, I just wanted to thank you and, you know, getting to know you and your whole world and your music writing too, because it's an inspiration as well. So, but everybody else at the bar, yeah, man, everyone else at the bar, you know, I've talked to people, even in Hamilton, that they're a year into one song, you know, like they're putting, or I've recorded bands where it's taken a year and a half, and I probably don't have the patience, and I don't like waiting for Radiohead to come out with an album. So I make stuff that's tailored to me, I guess. And as far as doing it, like, I can't pick up an instrument without fiddling something and then I'm like, okay, there it is. So usually it will start with the guitar, maybe just sitting down, and then I'm like, now I got to go upstairs, and then that'll turn into an album. And usually I'll make the album cover first as a visual to look at, and then I have it there, just I'm looking at the visual of but it never works out, man. Like, I think 2 albums ago, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make the most depressing album. I'm like, you know, John Stevens, like the most, like even more depressing, Elliott Smith, and then it came out like electro 90s like dance, right? Like the first 2 songs are like super depressing, then out of nowhere it's like Aqua, happening. So it always changes, but generally I will do an album in 2 days. So it'll just be, I'll feel the wind, and I can just kind of feel that extra wind behind my back, and then I'm like, hey, it's time. And then it'll be usually about 2 or 3 days, and then I'll just rifle through it. And it is what it is. That's the best I can explain the process. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It is.
That's about it.
What it is.
Yeah.
That's really impressive, because
I think it's boredom.
Well, okay, there's that. But
yeah.
You've done it so many times that you yourself are just this well-oiled machine for music. Mm. You've been doing it consistently since what, like 2000?
Yeah, I got the first Palm Top recorder Zoom. So I started the solo ones 2001. And then I just started collecting better gear as the years went along, better plugins, all that stuff. And but before that, we were singing for the school in like grade 4. So we were making up songs. We were called Alto and the Toe Jams was our band. And
is that a reference to the classic Sega game?
No.
Jam and Earl?
Yeah, no.
There's some of that amazing music.
Yeah, our whole school was like music mandatory. So you had to learn piano, you had to learn xylophone, you had to learn recorder, and you had to sing, and you were graded on it. I thought all schools did that, but it was really cool. And then by grade 3, I'm with 2 other guys with a giant choir behind our back, and we're soloists, and we're traveling to Jasper Park Lodge, the Parliament Building. We had like a tape made of us. So playing in front of large crowds and kind of being involved in music was a big thing from the beginning. Both my parents played piano and guitar. It was around. My grandpa used to have the whole room gathered around him. He'd be playing, all the old country hits and stuff. So it was always kind of around me. But it wasn't until I started convincing elementaries and junior highs to give us a room. I don't know how a grade 4-year-old kid gets a key to room 6.
That's such a Zyla story. Like, I'm like 10 years old. I convinced the principal to give me my own room with a Kool-Aid dispenser.
in our junior high, I convinced them to give us this like cage room above the gymnastic area, and in there was the entire bulk of instruments from the old music program because they didn't have it anymore. And of course, we started racing out the serial numbers and selling them all. And then I'm like, okay, wait, let's just wait. And we actually revived the music program in that school just doing concerts every lunch and doing that. The principal actually revived the music program with those instruments. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I know I've always been making shows, having fun. And it's just, I enjoy music. It's a form of expression. You know what I mean? So it has a message, and I couldn't imagine life without it, to be honest. I've been addicted.
You think? Yeah?
Yeah.
It's an impressive backlog, I think. There's so many albums that you've shown me that just so effortlessly jump genres. Like you go back and you do a lot of experimenting with certain sounds, or you're like, I really liked this song, so I made an album kind of as an answer to it or whatever. And it's like you've done so much experimenting with your compositional kind of muscles, which I think is a really important thing, because there's no boundary to what you'll do. If it comes up as like, I'll just give it a try, and you give it those couple days and you focus on it and you get it out. Yeah. And that in itself is like a really good and inspirational thing, because when you come back, like you're only building up on top of what you've already done. So every song that you're writing after the fact, even if it's not that same style, like you're still learning all kinds of tricks and stuff from it. Like I want to open that brain and see what's rattling around in there, man. Like
it's a lot of screams. Actually,
kings and ghosts.
The music probably gives me a break from the screams. So yeah, no, like any spare time that I have, I'll be recording for sure. You know, if somebody goes out to the grocery store, fart a couple out real quick, you know, and then and I think down the road I can kind of pick from all of these and pick some good ones out and really spend some serious time. So there's got to be a few nuggets and 2,500-ish songs there. So
yeah,
you know,
for sure. And so
that in itself, it's because it's fun, man. I do it because it's fun. You know, if it turns into a job one day, it might not be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I get that.
So yeah, I'm addicted to fun, Dan.
I get that too.
and I like thrills.
Thrills, not the soap gum.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such an Alberta thing to say.
What?
I like the soap gum.
The what?
The thrills. The soap gum. You remember that shit? Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alberta. I'm finally talking up to everybody here's level in their rhythm.
That's so funny because I never thought of that until you brought it up.
Yeah.
And you're like, you guys talk differently here. Like, no, we don't.
Oh, big time. When I got here, you know, we talk like this. Or you'll see a lot of people in Alberta, they go, well, that's the case. Because it's like cows, straight land. You got to take it easy. Like it takes us some time to think. We think about what we're saying out there. I still talk as though I live there, which is pretty funny. But yeah, no, it's been fun.
I can't say how thankful I am that you like crash landed here and just like brightened up all our lives with your silliness. Like there's so much of performance into the simplest things that you do, which I like hearing all that stuff about how you spent all those early years being in performance. Like you've been tailor-made to be a performer and to do these things, and you're very deliberate in a lot of like even the body language that you would do when you're like just putting on a little thing, and you're Mr. Showman. I really always loved that about you, because every time we were hanging out, even the simplest story, you would have me in stitches.
Yeah.
And I think that's just another awesome facet of your songwriting, because there's the performance, the deliberation, and the storytelling that comes through in a lot of these things. Like, from a lyrical standpoint, I don't know the stories behind all of your songs, but they draw me in. And it's such an important thing as a listener to feel like there's a story playing out. You can see the budget 90s Gin Blossom style music video that would be playing to this song. You know what I mean? Like there'd be a lengthy story, and it's never hitting you over the head with anything too much, but like there's something there. And there's a depth to what you're saying and the stories you're telling with your music and stuff. And I think that's a really hard thing to nail, because a lot of people are kind of like they're closed up about it. But you seem to have found a really good way of being open just enough to give something to latch onto, but still being able to be like, yeah, I'm a private dude and I do this, and here's my music, and think whatever you want of it.
I don't care. Yeah. I don't care what happens after it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there was a song in the bar, the song I played, and it just did not fly, and I stopped kind of pushing it out there, but I did not care about what people thought, or what, like, I'm just in the zone when I'm doing it. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, but like I have albums that do not have my name on them just because, like they will never have my name. But it's like that fun. But backing up, being a performer, I just like to make people laugh. There's nothing wrong with spreading joy. And so I'm also addicted to laughter, and I just like making people laugh around me and stuff, you know? So that's just touching on what you said before. But as for the lyrics, when you're pumping a bunch of deer turds out like that at night, a lot of the song, hey, some of those turds are nice turds.
There's a gold nugget in those turds.
one every 100 songs probably. But I will get fictional. So I'll just, you know, and I've been in trouble in past relationships. Like, who's this about? You know, who are you singing about? And I'm just like, people need love songs, you know, or I'll get a lot of who's this about or what does this mean? And it's unfortunate to some people when they find out that it's just a fictional story. Sorry, it's not about you. No, but a lot of the times, and the people I've met in Hamilton, I will base a song. I mean, I did 7 Bryce songs.
Yeah, so and they were bangers.
Clearly about
fuck.
Yeah, I kind of ran out of Bryce topics. Well, there's a few that I heard, but I'm not going there. I'm just not doing it. But a lot of times, I will think, okay, what will this person like? And that's a good inspiration. So for instance, when people would come in the Hamilton scene and I could play it, I'd almost I would write it for them, but not tell them, you know what I mean? And see their reaction. So there are times where I'll tailor things for people. And even like, man, for Tommy, like there's like 20 songs that I'm talking to Tommy and he probably doesn't know, you know? So yeah, it's for you, Tommy. But, so yeah, there's inspiration in everything. I remember being a kid and on the news they said, you know, genetically altered food. And I went right downstairs and you couldn't do the song today. It was Genetically Altered Girl was the song I wrote. Today I'd probably get in trouble, but I still like that song to this day. But anything is inspiration. Life is an inspiration, you know, like I don't find it hard to find inspiration in anything, you know, like if you just look at anything on the table and just go for it. I don't know. Maybe I got dropped in my head in a good way. The fourth stare.
I often wondered the same thing about myself.
Right.
I feel like my brain works in such weird ways that I'm like going through life normally and people are just looking at me aghast. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm just having a wonderful time. See ya.
Yeah. We were both like cats, where you see cats, sometimes they have zero fear, sometimes they do, but that kind of weirds me out because you'll see cats do stuff, there's zero fear, but then there'll be a scaredy cat, you know, and they'll run away from a noise, but then you see them doing like, you know, jump off a house or something. So we both got a little bit of cat in us.
I think so, yeah. I can sleep anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll sleep on like those couch cushions, like size chairs. I've curled up, just taking a full nap on one of those. And I've heard people, you get that ear thing going when you're still kind of asleep, and people are like, "Is he seriously fucking asleep?" I'm like, yeah, man. I can sleep anywhere. Get you $20. You tell me to sleep somewhere, I'll fucking go sleep there.
I remember drinking almost 2 2.6s of Jack. I don't do it all the time. It was over a whole day. But when I went and passed out in the corner, I could hear people saying, "I think he's dead." I think he's dead. I've never seen anybody drink 2 2.6s before. I think that guy's dead. And the weirdest thing is they didn't let me sleep, and I'd gone back into some weird sober state, and I was fine. Like, I just came out on the other side super, just like zeroed out. It was the weirdest thing, man.
Just tranced your way through it.
Yeah. Here I am telling people I drank 50 ounces of liquor. That's nice. Let's get Owen on. Owen.
Let's like freeway that
guy. Just pop him up. He shreds, eh?
Owen? Yeah. I was surprised, but also not. It was because I'd never seen him play guitar for the first couple of years that I knew him.
Yeah.
And it's always just such a surprise when someone picks it up and they're just like, and then like Scott McIntosh from the Belays there, he was telling me that in high school they were like the guitar buddies that would try and one up each other and keep pushing each other. And Scott would try and learn this shit, and then Owen would come out with something even crazier, and Scott would be like, fuck. And then it was years later, Owen told him that he was getting all this stuff from like a website. So
Really?
and he never told Scott, so he's basically cheating. And it pushed Scott further because he had to figure out what Owen was doing and find out how to talk him. We got a good group of friends, man.
Knowing him, he just said that.
Oh, he just like didn't want to make him feel bad. Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So the stint with the meat bags, that was a wonderful collaboration between you and two of the boys from the Belays, Tommy
Still
on
is.
bass and Jordan on drums. When
we had Bruder did a few stuff too.
That's right. Bruder was playing keys as well.
And we
So
did
when
that
you-
jazz night.
Oh, that was, yeah, I loved that jazz album you did.
That was
So when you
hilarious.
stepped into that role of like, now your guys are coming from your band, the Belays, it's already a thing, and I like your music and I'm going to play some stuff with you. Did you find that you were like, was this one of your first situations where you basically had your session guys and you kind of had to call the shots a little bit? Or were you kind of like, I know what I want and they'll do whatever I need them to do and this will be fine? Like, did you find there was a bit of apprehension stepping into that role?
No, like, this is how it went, man. We went over to Jordan's and I said, guys, the number one thing here is just to have fun. I'm not stepping on any other band's toes. Let's just have fun. The songs are already there. I'd show them and I said, I don't even care what you do. Like, and maybe like, I'm not even kidding because Jordan is so fluid and just picks up on what's going on. So, all you guys. And maybe there was like one song where I was like, the snare's tripping me out. I'm talking like, of like 50 we played. Maybe one song I was like, that snare's just tripping me out right there. Other than that, I just said, let's just have some fun. And we play the songs because it's easy because I just play them and then they play along. And then Tommy, and then they can do basically whatever they want. And because we're just having fun. And then we, a lot of the times we would go practice for an hour a week before, and then play the week after. So the whole thing was basically just about good vibes and let's jam. It was fun to kind of do the heavier stuff because it was definitely more 90s kind of grunge, and I think that they enjoyed that maybe because it was a little out of the norm for them. So they probably had a little bit of fun. And then I think all of them together, we probably did about 6 or 7 CDs. So, I mean, Jordan, when I drum, it's like I don't even tell people, right? So when he's drumming on there, it's just like golden juiciness, it's just, I don't like, the guy just knows, like he's
the force of nature. As a
we did this before I moved out here. We did this one called Ship Rat. Man, he just like it was wild. Like I think the song's called Ship Rat on my Bandcamp. But I remember after he was done the track, I looked at him and I'm just like, dude, right? And he was just like, I know. And I was just like, dude, like he just like ripped it on that track. He's so good. They're all good. All you guys, like even just having Bruder come and do his crazy stuff and Tommy, it's just fluid, all that. It's great. Such a honor to be able to play and know all you guys for sure.
Yeah. Well, the honor goes both ways, man. I mean,
I'm just a Ukrainian, man.
Hey, I'm genetically connected to an original Slovak slugger.
There we go. You remind me of like old school Civil War, like Dan. Like I love it. It's like you're a general in the north.
Men of the 9th Bearded Infantry were sunning and fluffing their beards in the sun.
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Terrible accent. Whoa.
We gotta. he's out.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna be out first.
I
5
told you
minutes,
no
man.
babies.
Yeah. People do that, man. We're gonna, they just hand me their babies, and I'm like, don't do that.
Don't you do it? I would never throw a baby at you.
I think you did, man. I think you just gave me your baby.
I didn't give. I was like, do you want to hold him? I wasn't like, take this baby. Like, you have to throw a baby and trust fall. Here we go.
I can't remember. That was a while ago.
It was funny. I was looking at pictures from like his first week after being born, when I was still like, oh God, like I didn't know what to do. I was terrified holding that kid.
Really?
And you can see like, I'm like, huh. Or like he's sitting and I'm like holding him for pictures. Like I've got like my hand in front of him and he's just like kind of hunched over like. Now I just like throw him around and shit. It gets easier. But.
Just hold him by his legs.
Yeah. He'd like
way too casual.
So, where do you want to direct some eyes and ears? Like, you've got a Bandcamp, you said?
That's the best place, yeah. Bandcamp, Zyla.bandcamp.com. Zyla, Reverb Nation at NicholasZyla.com is an old gig, but there's a lot of older stuff in there. The problem is I've got so much content to get out, and I need to learn how to get it out the right way. So if I were to put anything out there, I need help with that. Contact me and help me, and I will. Absolutely,
I will.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about everybody else. But no, Bandcamp's a good place because that helps one out pretty good, and then basically I've been pumping stuff on the streaming sites, but that's about all the knowledge I know. I can pump out the music, I just don't have the marketing skills. And that's a whole other game. And if I'm writing music all day, so maybe I stop at 200 and then I just try to get it.
And then we go back and we work out a marketing plan.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I mean, the fact that you were able to kind of peg people down and be like, focus in on what they would like and get these things down. That's all marketing is.
Right.
Like finding a way to target who would like this, and kind of instead of like the other way around. Because you've got this stuff, it's very good, it speaks to people, it's deliberate, there's storytelling, and people like it, and it's catchy to boot. So I think the biggest thing is just going back and being like, even by album, there's like, you could pick like one or two like values or ways to target people, and then boom, that's off on its way. And then another album is selling to a completely different subset of people, and you can just own the market just because you've written so much different music. Yeah,
and like could also use a lot of them and just sell them as ideas. Like there's a large volume I need to do something with. So, but I mean, I thank everyone for listening, and the feedback is great.
Oh, yeah, you're a babe among babs. I don't know what that means, but it's gonna mean something. If you say it with enough convention, then anybody will believe it. I'm just like, yeah, man, that's what I said. They're like, oh, sorry, I thought you said something else.
Dan said I was a babe, so must be true.
You get the
not too bad
steel
for 185-pound Ukrainian, probably 190.
190, 190-pound pierogi.
Captain Kielbasa King. the greasiest. I greased my way out of Edmonton because it was so greasy that I slid through the prairies, and now I'm down here.
They tried to grab you, but you slipped.
Yeah. I stood on top of the mountain in Jasper, and it was so greasy I ended up here. Three-toned.
All right. Before you get to escape, I want to hear What was your most influential live concert that you went to?
Oh, man. Man, I've been to so many, lots I can't remember. And that's not really good because you're wasting your money when you're having a party, a ball like that. You know what? I really wasn't given enough time to think about this, but I will say last summer I went to go see Beck at the Budweiser, and I've never been there before. Not a fan of getting out of that venue when everybody's leaving.
Oh, it's a shit show.
I'm sure everybody knows that except for me at the time. But that was wild. Like, I've never been claustrophobic like that before. Honestly, I went to go see Beck, and I didn't know much about Cage the Elephant. And you only hear the radio songs and stuff. And actually, they're not bad, they're radio songs.
Yeah.
I remember hearing Cake, like, he's going the distance on Much Music. And I was like, these guys suck. And it was all over the radio. Every other Cake song I love, except for that radio song. So radio just like can destroy
your perception,
a whole concept of somebody. Man, these guys, I don't know what it was, but that was, for me, I'm still processing that show. It was like that band, I was blown away. I was sitting in my seat and with my mouth open. Like, this guy was the best front man I've ever seen, ever. Like, he had, I'm sorry I don't know his name that I'm talking so much about it, but I used to know it, but he had like 30 layers on, like 4 different masks, like must have had, at least 10 layers. And every song he was peeling off a different expression, a different, like it would come off, and then he was like the Phantom of the Opera. And this guy was the best front man I've ever seen. And not only that, he's like amazing singer, and the band was like dead on. And I couldn't believe what I had just watched. And they went well over their time. Like, not only were they like super late to get on, we're talking probably like 25, 30 minutes late. They went, like, Beck only played for like 25 minutes. Like, Beck spent 10 minutes apologizing that his set, because he was the headliner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just rocked it, man. I was absolutely blown away. And then I started to dig into their older stuff, and you're starting to listen to some type of like In Utero style, like Nirvana style songs. I wish I knew the album. It's one of their earlier ones. And then I'm like, wow, like I would have been completely into them if I knew, what their kind of music was like. So yeah, I have to say that was one of the better concerts. I can't think of everything. Like, there's Stage 13 out in Edmonton where the stage fell and killed a bunch of people. That was a weird experience. And they had a outdoor camping area, and these people started building a structure on their own, a 2-story structure. And I'm like, I'm not going in that. Fell down, people died. So that was, not influential, but that was a concert that I remember.
Yeah.
People like urinating into super soakers and spraying them everywhere like that. That's Alberta style, bud. But yeah, that's a concert that I do remember. But no, like, I wish I had more time to think about that. But right now, that Cage the Elephant is fresh in my mind, and I'm telling you that I've never seen a performance from a lead guy like that. Like, he went onto the crowd after Cage the Elephant, and he was like way out in the back, running around in the crowd surfing, like insane energy, and it was quite an experience. So yeah, I'd have to say Cage the Elephant for sure, which was surprising because that's not who I went to go see. And I think Spoon was playing too. I don't know, they got a few songs. Just kidding. I hope they never watch this. Edit that.
That says something when, and you're a huge Beck fan, but you're like, I went to go see Beck and this other band somehow stole the show. That says something.
I got videos of it, man. And I don't know if like you could get weed here in Canada easier or something, because I went to go look at some of their other performances, and there's something about that night. The sun was setting, and it was just the right mood for everything. You know what I mean? It was just, I have video of it. I got to show you, man. This guy's, I think I might have showed you.
I saw one or two of the videos, and the costume he was wearing looked fucking
Dude.
terrifying and
was like,
weird. And
his brother was just wearing like a two-piece Adidas tracksuit. Like it was just, the one guy, his back was out, so he was just sitting on his amp the whole time because he couldn't move around. And I thought that was like his thing, but his back was out. And they have like a keyboard player, and like it's just they're a phenomenal band. Sorry, I can't say enough. I really can't.
Wow, that's a glowing Z stamp of approval there.
Yeah, got a little excited.
That always stuck with me when you told me that story. Actually, just because of a lot of things, but because it was just like, for a band to come out and just like kill it so hard and have everything fall in the right place, like, you know, that in terms of like the performance and everything, that's one of those like legendary shows. You know, maybe there'll be like 20 years from now, somebody writes an article about it. It's like, were you?
Yeah.
Because it was.
I don't know if it was just me. I don't know. And like for him to be thrashing around like that and to know what it's like and sing for that long, that's some special powers he had there.
Some next level shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you yourself are, I would say, an inspiration to the songwriting process. And that was a big reason why I wanted to have you on and chat, just to talk about the sheer volume of your work. And, you know, I know you would probably disagree, but the quality matches the quantity.
Right.
Know? And you put so much effort into just making music, making as much of yourself get out there as possible while still maintaining a level of quality. And even though you're doing it for yourself, like you said, you're like, I love music, I'm addicted to making music, addicted to fun, but you also have that tenet of like, I want to spread joy. And I want people to feel good. And I feel like that really comes out in the music. And it really makes me happy. Like every time I see there's more Zyla music out there to be had, like it warms me up. And that, like, thank you for one. And thank you for being here today to chat. That's 2. And 3, when you're in town next week, you should stop by. I'll text you my address and we can socially distance and have a whiskey.
Play with that microchord.
It's yours, man. It's yours. You got to come and get it, and then we'll have a couple drinks, and that's how we'll get you.
I'm missing my old one, man. I just posted a Winter Sleep song called Waves that I really like, and there it is in the background. It's still like an industry standard. It's just a great filler, you know. And I wish I could have spoke more to the knowledge of songwriting today. I know it's very vague that I just pick up an instrument and just kind of go, but that's just the way it is. It's just. But
that's also a large subset of people who make music.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessary that you know everything before you start. You have to launch imperfectly. And you know, that's why you're such a testament to the writing process and being a musician, because you wanted to do it and you did it. You made the music and people liked it, you know?
Yeah, like music is power. Music is such a powerful tool and a great thing. And if anything ever did happen, I would gladly give more than 90% of it back to communities. And that's my goal is, you know, I was thinking the other day, what's the meaning of life? And I was like, you know what, it's to leave this place better than you found it and to help everybody around you. You know what I mean? So if anything ever did happen with the music career, I would give it all back, because I've had a big house, you know, you don't need it. You know, I just need a little condo, and it's just, that's the main goal, man, is just to help out, get people happy, get people laughing, and try to have a good time and make the world a better place. That's all I can say.
I love you, man.
I love you too, man. Can't stop.
The emperor himself, Nick Zyla, Go check his stuff out on the Bandcamp. The old stuff on the Reverb. I'll post all the links when it comes out. Nick Zyla, thank you so much for giving me your time.
Thank you.
Queen Wave, as he rolls majestically away, as is tradition. There he goes. He's a handsome man. He will remain a handsome man. Oh, Christ. I love you. All right.
I love you too, man.
Take it easy, bub.
All right. Have a good night.